Don't tell. We want to tell when we're coaching. We about always want to tell, especially at the beginning. And we tell our students all the time, don't tell. I'm Brian Miller, Executive Director of Coach Approach Ministries. And I actually want to tell you a few times you can tell. But first, we have to understand when not to tell. When you want to just give a solution, when you want to say so badly, have you ever tried soy milk? Now, it sounds like a question because I put a question mark at the end, but it certainly was a solution. You should try soy milk. And that's not helpful. That's not what coaches do. Coaches don't pour in, they draw out. We create tremendous awareness. Now, there are times that you can tell that create great awareness in your client, and there's a mindset to that. So let me share with you 3 ways you can tell and create awareness in your client. So the first one I would say is to share a principle. Share something that is true with your client. Based on the listening, you hear that this truth could really create some new awareness in them. So I want to keep it short. So let me try this truth out on you. First, seek to understand. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I really want you to stop after you say those 4 words. Seek to understand. Seek to understand. First, seek to understand. 4 words. You could just say seek to understand, but it's a quote. Now, what I'm not going to do with that quote is tell you who wrote it, tell you who said it. It was Stephen Covey and Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't need to tell all that. I don't need to say, boy, that was so important to me at this one point in my life when I realized that I was just trying to bulldoze. I don't need to tell all that. I just simply need to say the truth, the principle. First, seek to understand, and then be quiet. Let that just soak into the client. See what kind of awareness pops. I guarantee you, the more you talk about this principle, the less awareness they'll actually get from it. Let me give you another time to tell. Share an inconsistency. So you're listening to the client and they're saying a lot of things about the topic, about the issue they're working on. And part of it sounds really inconsistent. They said at one point, they really just love going to work. And at another point, they said they just feel tremendous exhaustion and pain when they come home from work or whatever it would be. And you don't need to tell them what the problem is or why those 2 things are inconsistent. You just simply share with them the one thing they said, the other thing they said, and let them chew on that. It may not be an inconsistency. They may just not have synthesized that thought all the way into something that's really good and really important to them. So you simply share the inconsistencies and let them have it. Let me give you one more way to tell that can be very helpful. Share an experience. Share an experience. Now, not a whole story. And again, it has to be short. Sharing an experience is going to go over 7 words or less. But when you, and the other thing about an experience is it doesn't have to be your experience. So many, many times in my coaching, I have shared an experience from a high school basketball coach that I once interviewed. He told me that he's going to get fired. He's going to get fired either for coaching the way he wants to or coaching the way the school board wants him to. That's it. That's the experience I want to share. Now, again, everything in me wants to share more with you and explain that. I want to explain that the school board is going to have expectations for him, and he can either coach like they want him to and get them off his back, play the players they want him to and get them to leave him alone, or he can coach the way he wants to and take the brunt of that pressure that they put on. But all I want to say is I'm going to get fired. I'm either going to get fired for coaching the way I want to or coaching the way the school board wants me to. Then let the client have that and see what explodes in their minds. I'm telling you, great awareness comes from sharing a short experience like that that allows them to really think that through. So the interesting thing about telling is that the more experienced coach you are, if I'm thinking about the ICF, International Coaching Federation, you know, you got ACC, PCC, MCC, the farther you go up that credential, the fewer questions that coach asks, and the more observations that coach makes. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any of our great content.